I know even last Sunday, I think Pastor had announced that Priscilla will be sharing testimony, but then I didn't. Cool. Okay. So, thank you so much, Uncle, Pastor, for giving me this opportunity to share my testimony. Well, the reason behind, or the whole purpose behind sharing the testimony is to express the emotion or the love or the affection or how God actually works through our lives, right? Everybody has their own testimonies, like probably somebody out there who's, been struggling with some kind of sickness, and then you prayed and you prayed. Eventually, God has healed you. God had healed you, and then probably somebody was struggling financially. God has blessed you, and then could be in any way, in any area of our lives. God always works His wonders, right? And something very similar that happened in my life, and this is something that I almost lost hope on. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. So you can just forget it. I just shrugged my shoulders off, and I was like, it's okay, it's not going to happen. So just let it to God. So whatever happens, it's going to happen with His decision. So I'm not going to bother about it. And that's what I did. So this testimony is about my academics, the success that I wanted to share about my academics. And I mean, not mentioning the stream and all of that, but for a very long time, I've been waiting to get through this, academics. And then I was like, when will that happen? When will that happen? Over the period of time, I had heard unpleasant news, then thinking that, I couldn't get through. And I was like, okay, fine. I was disappointed, because we all get disappointed when things don't work out, right? Human tendency. And I did get really disappointed. And I was like, okay, probably the next time I can give it another shot. I did. Another year. Again, there's a failure. I was now very disappointed, because the hard work that I had put in was like too much of hard work. I did put in a lot of hard work. And I was thinking, why is it that I am not succeeding even after the things that I do? And it's not like I am living like a lavish and too, worldly life or whatsoever. I mean, I wouldn't want to quote that, but I just meant to say that I am definitely walking in the will of the Lord. I am doing things that are, God is asking me to, and I am a part of the worship team member, and I make sure that I pray every day. And these things started triggering me. Even after the things that I am doing, now I started having a heated argument with God, saying, I do everything that you want me to do, and I still end up in this situation. Why? Why do you put me in this place? Why do you bring me to this, result that I am so disappointed? And then, again, I gave it another shot. Like, it's okay, this time I'm going to try, but I'm hoping that you will get me through. I gave it another shot. Again, I didn't get through. I'm like, what's happening? I am working so hard. I'm studying day and night, and why is it that it's not happening? And it's the other people who eventually copied from me, and they had gotten through. I'm like, why? God, why did you do this? And then that's when the last time I tried, I was like, I gave up. I'm like, you know what? This time I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to have any hopes. I'm not going to keep up any expectations. I'm not going to have any kind of expectations. I'm just going to do this. I will give it another shot. And Abba, I leave it into your hands. Whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen with your will. Already, I've already been through a lot of things this year. 2024 was a year of breakthrough for me, because, there you go. 2024 was a huge breakthrough. And of course, Uncle, Auntie, Nikki, Solomon, thank you for being there, and for whatever I have been through in this year had drowned me down, is what I can say. Into failure, into heartbreak, into pain, into miserable sufferings, I can say, that I cannot really describe. But this very place, I can tell you, everybody, this very place that I'm standing, I was one day kneeling and I was crying and I was asking, why is my life turned into such miserable things? What is it that I am doing that you are not liking? And what is it that is gotten me to this place? And I remember this very thing that I said. Everything. My mom is sitting right there behind. And I just knelt down and I said, Abba, it's too heavy for my shoulders. just take them off. These were my only words, and I was all quiet. I didn't talk anything. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting and staring at the altar. I was just crying, and this is not because of the academics. There was other things also that happened in life. And then I gave up. I said, I do not know what you're going to do, Abba. My shoulders are heavy. Just lift up the weight. And I'm not able to do it anymore. I'm done. Then came the phase when everything started changing, like one after the other. I, out of nowhere, hear the results from my academics thing saying that I didn't know, I did not know apparently that I had cleared, and I was living in denial thinking to give it another shot. When I had gone to the university and I went and asked like, hey, I'm here to pay my, another term fee. I'm like, I don't see any kind of this thing. There are no requirements. You've all cleared. Your, entire academics are cleared. I was like, what? Are you sure you might have to check it? I'm sure there is something right there. Or probably there's a technical glitch. You might have to check that. I'm sure, ma'am, everything is done. You're cleared. And you've cleared this for this academic year. I'm like, what? Really? And I had ran inside the office premises. And then they clearly showed me everything. And I was like, oh. I was still not, convinced with the fact that it was a good news that I heard. I said, I really request you to please go and check with the university once again and get back to me. They said, yeah, sure, we will do that. And they did. Saturday morning, I think Saturday afternoon, I called Uncle. I said, Uncle, there's a good news that I wanted to share. And Saturday morning, I called the university and I checked. Yeah, the results are all good. You've cleared with great scores. And I was like, what? How did that happen? And then that is something that I was really, really amazed. And the verse that I wanted to share, it says, I think it's Matthew 19:16 says, there's nothing that is impossible to our God, for our God. And even in the book of, even in the Gospel Luke 37, it also says there's nothing is impossible to our God. And that word actually spoke to me. And in this entire journey, the only thing that stayed constant with me was my worship and my prayer and my time with God. That is the only thing that strengthened me in all of the hopeless situations where I thought there's not going to be anything that's going to happen. Everything is gone for a toss. My life is gone for a toss is what I thought. But then God changed it, like, to nothing to everything. And here I am standing and testifying that we serve such a mighty God. Little did I know, I was wondering what's going to happen and all of that, but God spoke to me and I said, I am the God that you're serving. Why you have to, worry about anything? And that is where I say that we serve such mighty God that any impossible thing can also be possible. And that's only through Jesus Christ who strengthens us. Thank you so much. I'd also want to thank the prayer warriors, that's what we address them as, the aunties and uncles or whoever gather here for the Friday prayers. Thank you so much for praying for each one of us, for the youth and for everyone. Thank you so much for all of your prayers. And I hope that you all are always protected by the Spirit of the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you, Veda. God bless you and continue to guide you.